everyone, and welcome to Money Matters. My name is Joy Malete, and Money Matters is an interactive show that aims to educate our viewers on their consumer rights and provide advice relating to money. Do you perhaps have a money-related problem or issue that you would like advice on? Do contact us and we should be able to provide you with some expert advice. And lined up for today's discussion is a topic that we all dread. We're talking finances, money. Do you have a budget? Are you teaching your children how to budget? Well, we'd like to hear your views and comments, so please do interact with us on Facebook and Twitter using the hashtag MM on SID, that is MM on SID. And today on the show, to help us unpack a little bit on this topic, is our brother, Mr. Titi Mashao. Mr. Titi Mashao, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks, Joy. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be part of you guys.
It is such a pleasure to have you with us. We are discussing quite a very sensitive topic.
Sure.
I say sensitive because we dread talking about money, right?
Yeah.
We use it on a daily basis, but we hardly ever really engage and assess whether do we really have a good relationship with money. And I think after today, we really want to just make sure that our viewers, at least from a base level, understand what it is to manage your finances properly.
Sure.
And maybe just to start off, what is financial management?
Well, financial management, in a simpler term, is that it's when one actually finds a way of understanding where they are actually spending their money at. So you're managing your finances in a certain format, like maybe there would be things that you'll be allocating to actually manage your finance. So we look at various factors such as a budget, factors such as investment versus or your assets versus your expenses, your investments, are you spending more or do you have more debt and all of that. So there are various aspects in which we look at when we talk about financial management.
So it's quite broad, ne?
It's quite broad.
And why is it important that we as individuals actually manage our finances properly? What is the importance of financial management in one's life?
Well, like any other person that manages their actual being, when you wake up, there are set things that you actually do for the day. You wake up, you go take a bath, you go brush your teeth, you dress up, you do all of those things. So that is a body management. So we also need a financial management.
Yes.
So there are set rules that you need to set for yourselves. Like I said, a budget. You need to understand where is your money actually going to, and for you to actually understand that, you need to prioritize certain things and then look at the things that are actually chowing out your money out. I sometimes get confused when people say, I just woke up, I earned an income and I don't know where my income went to. So it already tells you that those people, they don't know anything about their money. They haven't budgeted. They are not planning anything in as far as their finances are concerned. So if you work, the main priority for you is you should manage your finances quite well. And for you to manage your finances quite well, you should be knowing where you're spending your money and where your money is not going to.
That's quite true. So we have to actually have a relationship, make time for your finances.
Essence, in essence.
And I think often people confuse having money with being financially literate.
Yeah.
Right? So because I have money, therefore, I'm assumed to know about money.
Yeah.
Is there a difference, right? Can I be financially illiterate while I have money? And what actually informs that? Yeah.
You'll be very surprised. Most of the high net worth clients that we have, most of them, they really struggle with their finances. You would find that someone is earning X amount of money, $1 million a month, for argument's sake, but their debts they can actually afford.
Look at that.
So they would want us to assist them in terms of drawing up a budget for them, coming up with a proper financial planning for them, reducing debt for them, a debt management plan for them. So they will call us to actually do that. So it does not literally mean when you have money, so you already have the expertise of money.
Yeah.
So you need to go through the financial management sitting with people that are expert in as far as that is concerned, like ourselves, financial planners, to actually assist you on how can you be able to manage your finances quite well.
Being financially literate is understanding money, your money per se, and knowing basically, like you said, where your money is going.
Cool.
And would having a financial goal sort of assist with that? Does it sort of help me gain this literacy that I need in finances? And what are those financial goals that I should be setting, and when should I be setting those financial goals?
Well, you know, people would say in January, I'm having fresh financial goals. Everything is fresh. Everything is fresher, you know. In December, people will be on a spending spree. In January, people will go, I'm on depression. I don't have money. I don't have this. It's a thing that happens each and every cycle. December, people are happy, people have money. January comes, people don't have money, people are sad and so forth. And you ask yourself, do we have a different December each and every day, each and every year? Do we have a different January each and every year? It's the same thing. It's called January each and every after 12 months. It's called December each and every after 12 months. But it seems as if it's something that is new to people. So it is very, very crucially important for you to have financial goals. Because once you have financial goals, you wouldn't be bothered which month it is. You are going to plan ahead for that. I usually say to people in the book of Proverbs 6, from 6 to 11, verse 6 to 11, it speaks about an end. And I love when the scripture reading starts, it says, "You fool, learn from an end." So they are actually saying to you, because you are not planning yourself well, already you are a fool. So it speaks about a story of an ant. It says we must learn from an ant. An ant will gather its food during summer times, so that when the rainy times comes, when the cold times come, then it knows that it has enough in its storehouse. But people tend not to be doing that. We spend what we have without thinking for the future. We can have goals of a certain thing that we want to buy, plan for it now, work for it now, save for it now. Or even if you have nothing to plan for, so long as you have saved, you know that should I have those rainy days, should I have those cold days, then there's something to work around. Should I have the January, what people say is the January in their lives, should I have that time, then I know that there is some financial backup that I have. So the story of an ant.
That's the story of an ant. And I suppose we get so confused and so caught up in December, as if there's like a drastic change between the changing of the months. It's like December and January are so far apart. And then it's literally a day apart, you know, from the 31st to the 1st of the following month. So that's quite important. While we're on that, we need to take a quick short break, and we'll be back just after this. Please do continue engaging with us on our social media platforms, Facebook and Twitter, using the hashtag MM, that is Money Matters, MM on SID. Don't forget to tag us at the SID Media. See you shortly.
All of these and more on SID Media TV.
Welcome back, and this is Money Matters. If you are just joining us, We are talking financial management with our financial advisor, Mr. Titi Mashao. And before the break, we were still just unpacking a little bit on the importance of having and setting for yourself financial goals before you even begin to chow that money. You at home are also part of this conversation and discussion with us, and so we would like to hear your views, thoughts and comments on what we are talking about. So please go right ahead and engage with us on our social media platforms using the details as they appear on your screen right now. Now back to Mr. TT. We were still discussing financial goals, right? And you were unpacking a bit on that. But now I just want to understand, why should I save, or why should I have a savings and investment account? Is there a difference between saving and investing?
Yes, there is two differences, but we'll just focus on the main ones. When you go to a bank, you're going there to save your money. You're going to the bank your money. So the banks have come with a smart way of saying, other than you banking your money with us, and then because we need to take our administration fee, it is only fair that we keep your money in safe custody, and then when we keep your money, then there should at least be some administration fees and so forth. So they try to mitigate the administration fee part of it. And they say, bring your money, and then we do not only bank it, but we take it into a savings plan. So a savings plan, that's where they will be telling you about your 32 days interest account, where then there is some form of an interest that you'll be getting out of that. It's a very conservative market, so the interest is quite low. So conservative meaning there is no risk at all whatsoever. There is low or no risk at all. So
can you actually eliminate risk?
On the savings platforms,
completely?
Yeah, on the savings platform, yes.
Okay.
But on the investment side, the most exciting, the part that I love, you are taking your money and you're saying, I want to invest, meaning there must be significant growth on my investment. So when we invest, we check what kind of an investor are you? Are you a conservative investor, a moderate investor, or are you an aggressive investor? So when we look into your risk appetite, then we do our own financial needs analysis at the team. My team does all of that. And then that's when we will be coming to you and say, okay, in as far as your risk is concerned, because clients will come to us and say, I'm an aggressive investor, just put my money there, and then after 5 years I want to get this. I'm an aggressive investor. But we as professionals, we must also do our homework. The same as when you go to a doctor, you can't tell them that I want this medication because I have. They must diagnose you first and tell you there's the solution they have for you medically. So we also do that. Also, we do our own financial needs analysis. We check your risk appetite, and then after we then advise on the platforms you need to go to, various investment companies that you have. And people, what I realized also is that people get confused. You'll have someone like one client we had and said, no, look, because you have contract with all these bigger companies in the country, I need you to take a certain percentage, put it on this company, and another one put it on this company. So 5 companies verse. And I asked them why. And they told me that, no, I want to put my money in different baskets. And I said, no, for argument's sake, that is not really diversification. You take your money into different companies, you pay platform fees for all those companies. What if those companies are taking your money into the same fund? So what we do, we take your money through one channel, one company, and then we diversify behind
within
the scene. Then we'll say this one will go to a certain fund, whatever global equity feeder fund, this one will go to a balance fund, this one will go to a conservative fund, this one will go to money market, and so those are the technical part, but we'll discuss them later. So we're just saying to diversify and putting your money in different baskets is when we select the funds according to your risk appetite. There are funds that are high risk, there are funds that are low risk, there are funds that are average risk. So we look based on your risk appetite, and then we advise accordingly.
And I think while we're on that, it's quite important that we obviously also make sure that our kids understand the importance of money. You know, sometimes kids think money grows on trees. How do I teach my child, the importance of budgeting, and for them to actually understand money, because most of the education really does happen at home. So we do know that our schools don't cater, for financial literacy. how do I make sure that I teach my kids? And how do I teach my kids? Maybe let me phrase it that way. How do I teach my kids? Where do I start as a parent?
Yeah. Okay. I love the concept of the Jews. They have actually made their own research and found out that children from the age of 5 years, they are able to start making sound financial decisions.
For real?
From the age of 5.
Okay.
So sound financial decision, or let me just say they are able to make financial decisions.
Yes.
So they are tuning them into the frequency of making sound financial decisions.
Okay.
What do they then do? They take children from the age of 5 and already teach them the issues of dominance and how to manage your own money. So what have we done? Because we have that concept. I have a 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and my children. So it's a boy and a girl.
Okay.
So already we started them with a very simple concept. You have a money box. You put your money there. Every time we give you money, because we need to teach them that this is money, what are you going to do with it? Firstly, you test them to see naturally how they actually address the issues of having money. And then after that, you then tune them into that frequency to saying, don't spend all of your money.
Yeah.
Some of your money put into the money box, and some of your money you can spend wherever you're spending. While we are on the kids the kids issue, unfortunately in South Africa, we are seen as one of the countries that are weakest in terms of the savings. We are a spending nation,
of course,
not a saving nation. That's why when we had the first lockdown, people were drowning because whenever I have cash, it vanishes immediately.
Yeah.
There is no the end concept. Remember when we spoke about the end story, to say I'm going to save up for the future.
Yeah.
So I spend what I have with anticipation that I'm going to get the next salary. I get the next salary, I spend it. Each and every month is I get and I spend, I get and I spend. So we don't have that concept. So we need to teach our children to say, let's get away from that concept. Most of us, we were not taught. We had to teach ourselves to
That's
say,
true.
For me to create wealth, this is how I need to live now, so that in future I would be able to be in a position where I would have created wealth. So you put them in a position to say, when you spend everything that you have now, know that in future you're not going to have anything. So you need to spend at least 20% of whatever you're getting. In our house, we're saying save 50%. So we're teaching them to say, if you save much, you are likely to live a better financial life in future. That's the concept we're trying to give to our children, to say, save as much as you can, so that in future you can be able to have a free financial life.
That's true. Financial freedom.
Financial freedom. That's
we talk financial freedom. That's quite interesting. And I suppose then again, just before we go on a break, if you can just briefly then touch on the reasons why you did briefly, right, on why people get into debt.
Yeah.
And that is because of poor financial management.
Sure.
Would you really agree with that statement, that the reason why people are really indebted is because we can't manage our finances properly? Or is it because I'm not getting enough? In the kitty? Well,
what is enough? Someone would be earning 100 rands and they will be saying, I'm living enough.
Yeah.
I have enough. Someone will be earning 2 million a month and they will be saying, it's not enough.
That's
so
true.
What is enough? The more you have, the more you create expenditure. So the concept of saving, that is the best. The concept of understanding where your finances and money is going to, that is the best. Have that financial plan. Like I'm saying, we recommend from a national perspective, from a regulatory perspective, to say at least people should be saving 20% of whatever the gross income they get. So if you're getting 100 rands as a gross, then at least 20% of that, which is 20 rands, should be going towards your savings. But it is unfortunately not happening. People will be saying, no, I want to earn a certain amount first before I would start saving. When you get to that certain amount, now you are driving a Golf, now you are driving a Mercedes-Benz. A Mercedes-Benz wants you to put in more financial responsibility towards it. You know, the petrol, it's expensive, and many other things.
Yeah, please do hold that thought while we go on a quick ad break. We'll be back just after this. So please do continue engaging with us. It's been quite exciting. We are learning a lot about managing our debt, managing our finances even better. So engage with us on our social media platforms using the link on your screen. See you back shortly. Welcome back. This is the last segment of today's show. We've been having quite a good time with our guest, Mr. Titi Mashao, a financial advisor who has been unpacking and, sharing those powerful nuggets with us on how to better manage our finances. And I think just briefly, Mr. Mashao, we were talking, budgeting and things like that. Would you say that having a good budget can actually aid in getting rid of debt?
No, definitely. When I sit with clients, I normally ask them, how often do you need to open your eyes when you drive?
Yes.
It is the same concept. Every time you have a financial responsibility, you must have a budget. So budget is the same as saying, I am taking responsibility and ownership of my finances. For me to can be able to spend on a certain amount, I must have budgeted for it. That's how we even work in my household, because whatever I teach to my clients, it's something that I practice at my home. So I would sit with my wife and would be saying, this is the money that is allocated for our bond, for our cars, for our groceries, for our entertainment, for school fees, for electricity and the likes. And then we'll be saying, this is what will be allocated towards our savings, our investments, and the likes. And then from there we'll be saying, out of all these, this is the remainder of the amount that we have. Then we have a choice to say, this amount that is remaining, are we going to increase on paying up our bond? What is the benefit for that? Paying more on our cars? What is the benefit for that? Or are we going to increase on our savings? And what is the benefit for that?
Yeah.
So budgeting, it's actually taking responsibility and ownership of your finances, because you'll be knowing exactly how much do you spend, where do you spend your money on, and then I can guarantee you now, once you start making a budget, you'll be seeing that you have so many unnecessary expenditures.
Exactly.
I spend on this 100 rand, as small as it is, but you'll start realizing it is not necessary. And once you have done that, then you see you have chucked out a whole lot of unnecessary things. Now you are sitting with 1,005 on a monthly basis that you are starting to have access to, that you never actually had access to because you never had a budget.
And that's true.
So once you have a budget, you're going to eliminate a lot of debt, because you are going to know how your finances are
consciously managing your
money.
That's true. And I think what we often forget is that those 20 rands, those 50 rands here and there, when you actually sum them up at the end of the month, it's quite a lot. And we think when we're spending it, it's just 20 rand, it's just 50 rand.
Correct.
But like you said, that's 1.5 or 50 rands that could literally go towards helping you manage your debt better.
That's true.
And I think, what key lessons then can we take away from good financial management?
Well, key lessons, I would say, start now if you want to know about your money. When do you start? You start now. What do you start? You start saying, I want to allocate a budget. I want to do a budget. You do your own budget. From there, you do your own savings. Because I always tell people that most of us, or most of the consumers, we are more concerned about credit record. I want a clean credit record. I want a better credit record. But there's this fundamental aspect that we always leave, which is creating a wealth record. So wealth record, that is to saying, I'm going to have ownership of my own finances. I'm not going to be dependent on a bank to give me on credit, the bank to give me debt. And the more debt you have, it does not mean you are a good person, because people will say it means you are credited, you are viable in terms of credit. You are good. People can give you credit and all of that. That's not how it works. We check your wealth record. So people must shift their mentality from having a debt or a good credit record to having a great wealth record. So when do you start doing that? You start from starting to set up a budget. Where goes to? How do you spend your money? And then focus on the savings. Because lastly, most people now, unfortunately, when we earn an income, the main thing we look at, we want to check our expenses, especially when people start working. Oh, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a house, I want to buy this. And then after you are left with 50 rand, and that's when you will go like, oh, I want a financial advisor to assist me on can I save my 50 rand. You actually need, the first point should be, how much am I going to save? And then how much am I left with after the savings part? And then this consumption, then that's when you can allocate to the expenses. So the greatest thing, especially to the new professionals, save as much as you can. When do you save? now.
You start now. We need to shift our focus from being credit focused to being rather have a good wealth score. That's what we said, and not a good credit score. And that's quite powerful, right? Sure. Because we focus on building a good credit record. So in other words, we are planning to be good customers to the financial institutions, as opposed to actually building good, good wealth, so we can continue saving this and leaving a legacy and leaving something for our kids and the future generation. Wow, that was quite powerful. Thank you. Any parting shots and anything that you perhaps want to make sure that if we forget everything about what happened today, what is it that you want to stick in our minds?
Yeah, well, especially for the children.
Yeah.
Because the generation that came, our generation and the ones that came before, we never had the liberty of being told how, or to be taught how to actually manage money. And then we are in discussion with the Department of Education now to say, let's put more money education to schools, they have those programs and so forth. But because the younger ones, their minds are fragile, as we were talking about children earlier on. So the best point is that give them chores to do and say, you're going to clean the house, you're going to clean the dishes, you're going to do that, and this is your income. So they know that for them can be able to earn an income, whether in their business or whether working for any other person, they need to work for their money. So laziness would be taken out, and they will know that I need to be active to earn an income. So be active to earn an income. Once you're active on earning an income, then you start saying, I'm going to save at least 20%. 20% is the minimum, but you need to save as much as possible. Unfortunately, now people are so indebted. Now make a budget, and you will know where your money goes to.
Well, Mr. Mashawa, that was such an amazing conversation. It was good to have you here with us on studio to unpack a little bit more on these finances. But unfortunately, we've come to the end of our show today, but it's been quite an exciting episode to talk about. And I think we need to continue having these conversations about money. So please do post your comments, views, thoughts, questions, whatever it is that you may have on our social media platforms using the hashtag MM on SID. That is MM on SID. And please don't forget to tag us at the SID Media. We will see you next week, same time, same place, right here on Money Matters. And from me, Joy Malete, and the rest of the Money Matters team, it is goodbye and God bless.